The massive ship asterisk, harmonious exchange asterisk, drifted silently through the void, its gleaming hull reflecting starlight like polished silver. At 12 kilometers long, it served as the pride of the Galactic Confederation's diplomatic fleet. Inside the command center, Ambassador Zix Tar watched the star map with 4 of his 6 eyes, while his secondary arms tapped notes into his personal terminal. Unusual energy signature detected at coordinates 227 to 893 415, announced the sensor officer, a bird-like Avadi whose feathers rippled with concern. Configuration unknown. Zixtar straightened his body to its full 3-meter height. Magnify the sector. The main display shifted, showing a small vessel unlike any in the Confederation database. It was barely 300 meters long, with an angular design that suggested function over form. The ship's hull was dark, absorbing rather than reflecting light, making it difficult to track visually. "Most curious," said Zixtar. "We are far from any known spacefaring civilization. Open communication channels on all standard frequencies." The communications officer, a jellyfish-like Midorian, floating in a gravity-controlled water bubble, pulsed blue lights through her transparent body. "Channels open, Ambassador. Broadcasting greeting protocols in all 27 Confederation languages." Minutes passed with no response. The unknown vessel maintained its position, seemingly observing the much larger Confederation ship. "They may be pre-contact," suggested Krelvax, the ship's intelligence officer. The insectoid's antennae twitched with excitement. "Their technology appears primitive, yet they've achieved faster-than-light travel. Most unusual development pattern." Ambassador Zixtar nodded thoughtfully. "Continue attempts at energy spike," interrupted the sensor officer. "The vessel is scanning us with highly focused particles. Unprecedented resolution." Before Zixtar could respond, the ship's automated defense systems activated, raising energy shields as a precaution. The moment the shields shimmered into existence, the unknown vessel's engines flared with brilliant blue light. "They're retreating," said the navigator, her reptilian scales shifting colors in surprise. "Calculating trajectory. Impossible. They've jumped to faster-than-light speeds almost instantly, without a standard acceleration curve." Krelvax moved quickly to a secondary console. "I captured some of their transmissions during the scan. Their communication technology is inefficient, broadcasting openly rather than using targeted quantum channels." The ambassador frowned. "Can we translate it?" "Working on it," Krelvax replied, his compound eyes reflecting screens of scrolling data. "The language structure is unlike our standard matrices, but there are patterns." Across the void, the human ship asterisk US Vigilant asterisk emerged from its emergency jump, its hull cooling from the sudden acceleration. Inside the bridge, Captain Alan Reeves gripped the arms of his command chair. "Status report," he demanded, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his body. Lieutenant Samantha Wells looked up from her station. "All systems operational, Captain. The emergency jump executed successfully." Reeves nodded. "Were we able to gather any useful data before we withdrew?" "Yes, sir," replied Officer Carl Winters from the science station. "Our scan was nearly complete when they raised some kind of energy barrier. The ship was massive, 12 kilometers long at minimum. Nothing like that exists in our database." Reeves stood and approached the main view screen. "And they saw us too, which means first contact just happened, whether we wanted it or not." "Should we attempt communication, sir?" asked Lieutenant Wells. "No. We follow protocol. Set course for Earth Defense Command Headquarters. We need to report this immediately." Reeves turned to his communications officer. "Send an encrypted burst transmission to Admiral Morris. Use security code Alpha 9. Message begins. Unidentified vessel encountered in Sector 7. Not of Earth origin. Advanced technology. No hostile action taken. Request immediate consultation." Message ends. As the message transmitted toward Earth, Reeves stared at the image of the alien vessel captured during their scan. His mind raced with questions about what this meant for humanity's future. Back on the Harmonious Exchange Krelvax suddenly straightened. Ambassador, I've isolated a repeating pattern in their transmissions. They call themselves humans. Admiral Heather Morris stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching the holographic display of the alien vessel. Its enormous size made the room feel suddenly smaller. 20 military and scientific advisors sat around the conference table, their faces illuminated by the blue glow of the projection. 12 kilometers long, she said quietly. That's nearly 10 times larger than our biggest battleship. Captain Alan Reeves nodded. The Vigilance scans detected at least 50 hangar bays, each large enough to hold one of our destroyers. A heavy silence fell over the room. Earth Defense Command Headquarters, buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, had never felt so vulnerable. "What do we know about their intentions?" asked General Frank Doyle, his weathered face creased with concern. Lieutenant Samantha Wells stepped forward. "I've analyzed their transmissions, General. They were broadcasting on multiple frequencies simultaneously. Based on the patterns, I believe they were attempting communication. Or scanning our defenses," countered Security Chief Abigail Grant. "We can't assume peaceful intentions." Admiral Morris raised her hand to quiet the room. "Lieutenant Wells, continue your analysis." Wells brought up a sound wave on her tablet. "There's a repeating sequence that might be a greeting. But there's also this." She played a different audio clip. This pattern appeared immediately before they raised their energy field. The room listened to the alien sounds, clicking and humming tones unlike any human language. "Can you translate it?" Morris asked. "Not yet," Wells admitted. "But based on the timing and context, it could be." She hesitated. "Speak freely, Lieutenant," Morris encouraged. "It could be a demand for surrender." The room erupted in concerned murmurs. Admiral Morris raised her hand again. "We don't know that. Let's not jump to conclusions." She turned to Captain Reeves. "What's your assessment of their technological capabilities?" Reeves displayed the Vigilance scan data. "Their propulsion system uses principles we barely understand. Their hull material is unlike anything we've encountered. But their weapons systems," he paused. "We couldn't detect any obvious weapons." "Impossible," said General Doyle. "No civilization builds ships that size without defense capabilities." "They might be concealed," suggested Chief Engineer Kevin Powell, "or so advanced we can't recognize them." Admiral Morris walked around the table slowly. "Earth has been at peace for 30 years, but we all know our history. Centuries of warfare pushed our weapons development far beyond our other technologies. It's why our first deep space vessel was a reconnaissance warship rather than a science vessel." She stopped and looked at each person in the room. "If these aliens come in peace, we'll meet them with open arms. But if they don't..." The Vigilant was able to escape without difficulty. Captain Reeves pointed out. "Their size may be intimidating, but our stealth and speed are superior." Admiral Morris nodded. "I want all Earth Defense Forces on alert status. No public announcements yet. We avoid panic. Deploy the 4th Fleet to the outer solar system as a precaution." She turned to Lieutenant Wells. "Keep working on that translation. That's our priority." As the meeting dispersed, Admiral Morris pulled Captain Reeves aside. "The Vigilant is our most advanced ship. I need you back out there, Alan. Find out what they're doing, but do not engage unless attacked." "Yes, Admiral," Reeves replied. "What about our colonies? Europa is particularly vulnerable." "I've already alerted Governor Rodriguez. They're activating their shield system. Across the solar system, the massive Confederation vessel Harmonious Exchange had been joined by 3 patrol ships. Commander Vraxenar, a tall amphibian with iridescent skin, reviewed the reports from Ambassador Zixtar. "These humans developed faster than light travel without developing unified communication protocols first. Vraxnar said with surprise. Most unusual evolutionary path. Their vessel was clearly designed for stealth and rapid withdrawal, Zixtar pointed out. Signs of a species that evolved under threat. Vraxnar's skin rippled with concern. The Council has ordered us to establish contact and assess their suitability for membership. What is your recommendation, Ambassador? We proceed carefully, Zixtar replied. Their system contains several habitable bodies. We will approach the furthest one first. And if they react with hostility. Zixtar's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. We must not appear threatening. These humans are an unknown variable. Unpredictability can be dangerous. The Europa colony shimmered under its transparent dome, a small bubble of humanity clinging to Jupiter's icy moon. Inside the operations center, Governor Peter Rodriguez stared at the incoming message from Earth Defense Command with growing concern. Confirm alien vessels approaching our position, he said to his communications officer. Confirmed, sir. 4 ships. 1 massive, 3 smaller. ETA 20 minutes. Rodriguez pressed the colony-wide alert button. Attention all personnel. This is not a drill. We have detected potential first contact with non-human intelligence. All civilians report to designated shelter areas. Defense personnel to battle stations. In the engineering section, Chief Engineer Olivia Daniels received the alert and immediately began powering up the colony's experimental shield system. Europa was officially a mining colony, extracting water and minerals from beneath the moon's frozen surface. Unofficially, it served as a testing ground for Earth's most advanced defense technologies. Power flow stable at 70%, reported her assistant. Radiation dampeners online. Daniels nodded. Bring it to full power, but keep it inactive until ordered. We don't want to appear hostile unless necessary. Across the colony, 15,000 civilians moved quickly to underground shelters, while defense personnel took positions at key installations. Major Ryan Ellis, commander of Europa's small defense force, monitored the approaching alien vessels from a concealed bunker 3 kilometers from the main dome. 4 ships on approach, confirmed his tactical officer. Sir, the largest one is huge. The smaller vessels are still bigger than anything in our fleet. Ellis studied the sensor data. Are they moving into attack formation? No, sir. They appear to be establishing a standard blockade pattern. All exits from Europa's orbit would require passing near one of their vessels. Ellis frowned. So they're containing us, not attacking. Yet, in the cold vacuum above Europa, the Confederation vessels moved with graceful precision. Commander Vraxnar stood on the bridge of his patrol ship, the Swift Justice *. Scans detect a moderate-sized settlement under an atmospheric containment field, reported his science officer. Approximately 15,000 life forms. Minor weapons systems detected. Ambassador Zixtar, who had transferred to Vraxnar's ship for this mission, studied the images of the human colony. Their dome technology is primitive but effective. I recommend we maintain distance while initiating contact protocols. Agreed, said Vraxnar. Position our vessels at standard diplomatic distance. Broadcast greeting messages on all frequencies. The 4 alien ships arranged themselves in a loose pattern around Europa's orbit, maintaining a distance of 10,000 kilometers. Standard procedure for initial peaceful contact in the Confederation Handbook. Back in the Europa defense bunker, Major Ellis watched the aliens take position. They've stopped advancing, holding pattern established. His communications specialist looked up with concern. Sir, they're broadcasting some kind of message. Same patterns detected by the Vigilant during first contact. Ellis activated his secure link to Governor Rodriguez. Governor, we have an active broadcast from the alien vessels. Request instructions. In the operations center, Rodriguez consulted with his advisors. Lieutenant Wells from Earth Defense Command believes their previous transmission might have been a demand for surrender. We can't be certain, countered his diplomatic advisor. It could just as easily be a greeting. Rodriguez made his decision. Major Ellis maintained defensive posture, but do not initiate hostile action. Engineer Daniels, activate shields at 50%, enough to protect the colony but not at full military capacity. In the engineering section, Daniels received the order. Activating shields at 50%. She pressed the activation sequence. Above Europa, a shimmering energy field enveloped the colony, extending 2 kilometers beyond the main dome. On the bridge of the Swift Justice alarm sounded. Energy shield detected, exclaimed the science officer. The human settlement has activated defensive measures. Commander Vraxinar's skin darkened with concern. Maintain position. Do not raise our shields. It might be interpreted as escalation. Ambassador Zix Tar moved closer to the view screen. They feel threatened by our presence. Perhaps our positioning appears too aggressive to them. Sir, called out the tactical officer, one of their weapons platforms is powering up. Major Ellis stared at his console in disbelief. Someone's activated the railgun in Sector 7. That wasn't my order. On his screen, the massive electromagnetic weapon, disguised as a mining excavator, hummed to life, its barrel aligning with the nearest alien vessel. Override code Alpha 6 Delta. Immediate shutdown. Ellis shouted into his communicator. But it was too late. With a flash of energy, the railgun fired a single projectile, a warning shot, programmed to miss the alien ship by 2 kilometers. The tungsten rod, accelerated to tremendous speed, streaked through space toward the Confederation fleet. The tungsten rod streaked through space, its path deliberately set to miss the alien vessel by 2 kilometers, close enough to demonstrate capability, but far enough to avoid actual damage. At least that was the intention. On the bridge of the Swift Justice alarms blared as the projectile approached. Unknown object approaching at high velocity, shouted the tactical officer. Impact trajectory will miss us by approximately 2,000 units. Commander Vraxinar's amphibian skin pulsed with alarm colors. Defensive measures. It appears to be a simple kinetic projectile, said the science officer with disbelief. Primitive technology. Primitives don't achieve space travel, Ambassador Zix Tar reminded them. This may be a warning rather than an attack. The tungsten rod flashed past the Swift Justice exactly as planned. But no one had accounted for the Confederation vessel's energy wake, a side effect of their propulsion system that created a field of disturbed space behind the ship. When the projectile entered this field, its path bent slightly. The projectile struck the trailing edge of the smallest Confederation vessel, tearing through its outer hull with devastating force. In the Europa defense bunker, Major Ellis watched in horror. The projectile hit them. That was not supposed to happen. Damage assessment. Governor Rodriguez demanded over the comlink. Unknown, sir. The projectile struck their smallest vessel. It appears to have penetrated the outer hull. On the damaged Confederation ship, emergency containment fields activated instantly, preventing catastrophic decompression. The crew, mostly unharmed, scrambled to assessment stations. Hull breach on decks 7 through 9, reported the damage control officer. Automatic seals engage. No casualties reported. Commander Vraxnar received the damage report with shock. A single projectile penetrated our hull. Impossible. Their weapon accelerated the object to extraordinary velocity, explained the science officer. The kinetic energy exceeded our hull's resistance threshold. Ambassador Zix Tar moved to the communication station. We must prevent further escalation. Prepare to withdraw to a safe distance. Withdraw. Vraxinar's skin rippled with indignation. They attacked a Confederation vessel. It was likely a warning shot gone wrong. Zix Tar insisted. Remember our mission. Peaceful contact, if possible. We represent 27 civilizations. We must act with restraint. After a moment of internal struggle, Vraxnar nodded. Signal the fleet. Fall back to position beta. Maintain defensive posture but take no aggressive action. The 4 Confederation ships slowly retreated, putting another 10,000 kilometers between themselves and Europa. In the Colony Operations Center, Governor Rodriguez watched the alien ships withdraw with relief and confusion. They're retreating? After we hit them? His tactical advisor shook her head in disbelief. Any Earth nation would have responded with immediate counterattack. Perhaps they're regrouping for a larger assault, suggested another officer. Rodriguez turned to his communications specialist. Contact Earth Defense Command immediately. Inform them of the situation. Aboard the Asterisk, U.S. Vigilant Asterisk, which had been observing from the shadow of Ganymede, Captain Alan Reeves received the news. A railgun round hit one of their ships. Was that authorized? He demanded. Negative, sir, replied his communications officer. Major Ellis reports it was an automated response that he tried to override. Reeves studied the sensor readings. The aliens are withdrawing rather than retaliating. Interesting. Your orders, sir, asked his first officer. Maintain position and continue observation. Transmit all data to Admiral Morris. Reeves paused. And prepare a first contact package. If they're choosing not to fight, we should try talking. Back on Earth, Admiral Heather Morris received the reports from both Europa and the Asterisk Vigilant Asterisk. She immediately convened the Defense Council. The aliens have demonstrated remarkable restraint, she told the assembled officers and officials. A shot that damaged their vessel was met with withdrawal rather than retaliation. Or they're retreating to bring in bigger guns, General Frank Doyle suggested. Lieutenant Samantha Wells cleared her throat. Admiral, I've made progress with their language. I believe their initial transmission was not a demand for surrender as I first thought. Morris leaned forward. What was it then? Based on pattern analysis and comparison with known linguistic structures, it appears to have been. Wells hesitated. A greeting. An invitation for diplomatic contact. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. We need to establish proper communication immediately, Morris decided. Prepare the Asterisk Olive Branch Asterisk for launch. The diplomatic vessel, General Doyle asked with surprise. Is that wise? We fired the first shot, General. Accidentally, or not. Morris stood firm. Now we extend the first hand in peace. The Asterisk Olive Branch Asterisk moved slowly through space, its white hull gleaming in the distant sunlight. Unlike other Earth vessels, it had been designed to look non-threatening. Smooth curves instead of sharp angles, visible windows, and navigation lights that blinked in patterns that mathematicians believed would suggest intelligence and peace to any species. On the bridge, Captain Grace Sullivan watched the approaching alien ships with a mixture of excitement and anxiety. The fate of human-alien relations rested on her shoulders. They're maintaining position, reported her tactical officer. No change in their energy signatures. Sullivan nodded. Continue broadcasting our greeting message on all frequencies. Behind her, diplomat William Porter reviewed his notes one final time. After days of work, Lieutenant Wells and her team had developed a basic translation matrix. Remember, Porter said to the bridge crew, their social structure appears to be based on consensus rather than hierarchy. Address all of them, not just who appears to be in charge. Sullivan nodded. Understood. Any response to our transmissions yet? Yes, Captain, said the communications officer with excitement. They're replying with what appears to be coordinates for a rendezvous point. Neutral space between our positions. Sullivan smiled. Set course. Nice and slow. In the command ship of the Confederation fleet, Ambassador Zix Tar observed the approaching human vessel with all 6 of his eyes. Their design is distinctly different from their first ship, he noted. This one appears to be built for visibility and communication, rather than stealth. Commander Vraxinar, who had transferred to the Asterisk Harmonious Exchange Asterisk after the incident, looked skeptical. It could be a deception. Their first vessel outpaced our fastest ships. This one moves slowly, but that means nothing. The Council has authorized first contact protocols, Zix Tar reminded him. We will meet them as equals. Is that wise? They nearly destroyed one of our ships with primitive kinetic weapons, Vraxnar argued. Security Director Krelthos, who had arrived from the Confederation Core worlds, stepped forward. The insectoid's chitinous exoskeleton clicked as he moved. I agree with the commander. These humans developed faster than light travel while still relying on projectile weapons. Their technological development is dangerously unbalanced. Ambassador Zixtar gestured disagreement with his secondary arms. All the more reason to establish diplomatic relations. They clearly need guidance. As the two ships approached the designated meeting point, tension grew on both vessels. The humans prepared their shuttle, a small craft designed specifically for the first face-to-face meeting. On the Confederation side, a diplomatic pod was readied. Unknown to either group, long-range sensors on both ships detected something at the same moment. Captain called the Olive Branch's sensor officer urgently. Multiple objects approaching at high speed from Sector 223. Sullivan frowned. Identify. Unable to identify. They're not matching any known configuration, human or what we've seen of the aliens. Aboard the Harmonious Exchange similar alarms sounded. Approaching vessels, reported the tactical officer. Bioorganic signatures detected. Ambassador Zixtar's posture changed instantly. The hive. Here. Confirmed, replied the officer. 7 hive attack ships approaching at maximum speed. Commander Vraxnar turned to Zixtar with accusation in his eyes. Did you know they were in this sector? Impossible, the ambassador replied. The hive has been contained in the Orion Arm for centuries. Security Director Krelthos moved quickly to the tactical station. They must have been tracking us, or the humans. Either way, their presence here is no coincidence. On the human vessel, Captain Sullivan received an urgent transmission from Earth. Captain, this is Admiral Morris. Our deep space sensors have detected multiple unidentified vessels approaching your position. Neither human nor similar to the aliens you're meeting. Proceed with extreme caution. Sullivan glanced at the tactical display. The new ships were moving fast, much faster than should be possible for their size. Raise shields, she ordered. Alert status 1. The diplomat porter looked alarmed. Captain, that might send the wrong message to our new contacts. I'm more concerned about these newcomers, Sullivan replied. Something tells me they're not here for peaceful negotiations. As if in answer, the approaching ships accelerated further. Their organic-looking hulls pulsed with light as weapon systems came online. The first shots fired across space, not aimed at the human ship or the Confederation vessel, but at the space between them, directly at the designated meeting point. The space between the human and Confederation ships erupted in green energy as the hive weapons found their target. Captain Sullivan gripped her chair as the sensor readings flooded in. Status report, she demanded. 7 enemy vessels confirmed, replied her tactical officer. Their weapons are unlike anything in our database. Energy-based, but with some kind of biological component. On the main view screen, the alien ships were visible now. Dark green vessels with irregular shapes that seemed to pulse and shift like living organisms. Sullivan made her decision instantly. Open a channel to the Confederation ship. Communications Officer Lisa Hernandez worked quickly at her console. Channel open. Captain. This is Captain Grace Sullivan of the Earth vessel Olive Branch *, she announced clearly. We are facing an unknown hostile force. Do you require assistance? On the bridge of the Harmonious Exchange *, Ambassador Zixtar was surprised by the human transmission. They're offering help, Commander Vraxnar said with disbelief. Their vessel is half our size and appears to have minimal armaments. Respond, ordered Zixtar. Accept their offer of communication, at minimum. The communications officer opened the channel. Human vessel. This is the Confederation ship * Harmonious Exchange *. We recognize these attackers as the Hive, a hostile collective we have contained for centuries. They are extremely dangerous. We recommend you retreat to safety. Captain Sullivan listened to the translated message and smiled grimly. No retreat. Activate Aegis Protocol. Throughout the olive branch hidden panels slid open. The smooth diplomatic exterior of the ship began to change as weapon systems emerged from concealed compartments. Point defense turrets, missile launchers, and energy projectors deployed across the hull. Broadcast on all frequencies, Sullivan ordered. Lisa Hernandez nodded and pressed her console. Broadcasting. Sullivan stood tall on her bridge. This is humanity standing with our new allies. All hive vessels, withdraw immediately or face consequences. The hive ships showed no response except to adjust their formation, 3 peeling off toward the human vessel while 4 continued toward the Confederation ship. They're not impressed, noted William Porter dryly. They will be, Sullivan replied. She turned to her weapons officer. Nathan, show them what we've got. Chief Weapons Officer Nathan Jones grinned as he activated the ship's main weapon systems. With pleasure, Captain. CIWS online. Missile batteries armed. Main guns charged. The first hive ship fired at the olive branch a sickly green beam that struck the human vessel's shields. To the surprise of everyone watching, the shields held. Return fire, ordered Sullivan. All weapons. The olive branch erupted with firepower. Railguns fired hypervelocity rounds. Missile batteries launched swarms of tactical weapons. Point defense lasers tracked and fired with incredible precision. The lead hive ship shuddered under the barrage. Its biological hull, accustomed to deflecting the energy weapons of the Confederation, had no defense against the kinetic impact of human weaponry. On the Confederation vessel, Ambassador Zix Tar watched in astonishment. Their diplomatic vessel is armed for full combat, he exclaimed. And effectively, added Vraxenar with grudging respect. Look how they combine multiple weapon types. Security Director Krelthos chittered with agitation. This confirms my concerns. These humans are dangerously unpredictable. They're fighting to protect us as much as themselves, Zix Tar pointed out. We should assist them. The Harmonious Exchange brought its defensive systems online, powerful energy shields enveloping the massive ship. Its own weapons, elegant, precise energy projectors, began firing at the approaching hive vessels. In Earth orbit, Admiral Heather Morris received the emergency transmission from the olive branch Hive vessels confirmed attacking both human and Confederation ships, reported the communications officer. Morris nodded grimly. Deploy the stealth fleet. Authorization code Alpha 1. The Vigilant is to lead the response. In the shadow of Jupiter, Captain Alan Reeves received the orders. His ship, the US Vigilant had been silently observing the diplomatic mission. Prepare for combat, he ordered. Alert the sister ships. We move as one. 5 sleek, dark vessels detached from their hiding places among Jupiter's moons. As they accelerated toward the battle, their advanced engines left no visible trace in space. The 6 human stealth ships appeared seemingly from nowhere, their dark hulls barely visible against the backdrop of space. The hive vessels, focused on attacking the olive branch and the harmonious exchange did not detect the newcomers until it was too late. All ships, attack pattern Delta, ordered Captain Alan Reeves from the US Vigilant Target their propulsion systems first. Lieutenant Commander Derek Mitchell led the first strike team, his vessel approaching the nearest hive ship from below. Firing solution locked. Missiles away. 6 high-yield missiles streaked toward the hive vessel, impacting in perfect sequence along its engine section. The biological ship shuddered, green fluid leaking into space from the wounds in its hull. On the bridge of the harmonious exchange Ambassador Zix Tar watched with amazement as the human fleet executed their attack. Where did those ships come from? Demanded Security Director Krelthos. Our sensors detected nothing. Their stealth technology exceeds our capabilities, Commander Vraxinar admitted, and their attack coordination is impressive. The Hive, faced with the unexpected reinforcements, began to adjust their tactics. 3 ships broke off their attack on the Olive Branch and turned to face the human stealth fleet. Captain Sullivan used the opportunity to establish direct communication with the Confederation flagship. Ambassador Zix Tar, this is Captain Sullivan. We need to coordinate our attacks. The Hive appears vulnerable to our kinetic weapons, while your energy weapons are more effective against their shields. Ambassador Zix Tar considered only briefly before responding. Agreed, Captain. We will focus on disabling their shields. Your vessels can then deliver the killing blows. As the battle raged, the Confederation Council received emergency transmissions from the Harmonious Exchange The 30 representatives of the member species gathered in their circular chamber, holographic displays showing the unexpected conflict. The humans are fighting alongside our ships, reported the Aquarian representative with surprise. And effectively. Their military technology is concerning, countered the Trill delegate. No species should develop such weapons before proper ethical frameworks. The High Counselor, a tall crystalline being, raised a glowing appendage for silence. The reports indicate these humans have saved our diplomatic mission from destruction. Whatever their development path, they have chosen to be allies today. Back in the battle, the combined forces of human and Confederation ships had destroyed 3 Hive vessels. The remaining 4 began to retreat, their biological hulls leaking strange fluids into space. They're pulling back, reported Nathan Jones from the weapons station of the Olive Branch *. Captain Sullivan nodded. Let them go. We've made our point. As the Hive vessels fled, Captain Reeves brought the U.S. Vigilant alongside the Olive Branch *. Captain Sullivan, the stealth fleet is at your disposal, he transmitted. Admiral Morris sends her regards and hopes your diplomatic mission can proceed. Sullivan smiled. Please thank the Admiral. I believe our negotiations just got a lot more interesting. 2 days later, aboard the Harmonious Exchange representatives from Earth and the Confederation sat at a large circular table. Admiral Heather Morris led the human delegation, while Ambassador Zix Tar represented the Confederation. The Hive has been our greatest threat for centuries, Zix Tar explained. They consume worlds, incorporating biological material into their ships and weapons. We have contained them, but never defeated them. Admiral Morris nodded. From what we've seen, our technologies complement each other. Your defensive capabilities are superior to ours, while our offensive systems proved effective against their biological structures. Security Director Krelthos, still suspicious, leaned forward. Why would humans develop such weapons if you were not at war? Earth has known conflict throughout our history, Morris replied honestly. We prepared for the worst when we reached the stars, hoping for peace but ready for war. Ambassador Zix Tar gestured understanding with all 4 of his arms. The Confederation was founded on principles of cooperation and harmony. Our focus has been on cultural and scientific development. Perhaps we grew complacent in our defenses. Then we have much to offer each other, said Morris. Earth brings strength and readiness. The Confederation brings wisdom and unity. 1 month later, the newly commissioned Joint Fleet assembled near Jupiter. At its center was the human warship Defender of Peace commanded by Captain Alan Reeves. Its hull combined Confederation defensive technology with human weapon systems. As the fleet prepared for its first patrol against Hive territory, Reeves opened a channel to all ships, both human and alien. To all vessels, this is Captain Reeves. When we first met, the Confederation detected an unidentified warship. It was human, and it was equipped. Today, we are all equipped with each other's strengths. Together, we are unbeatable.